everyone happy, and today I'm going to make a roasted butternut squash soup with brown sage butter. It's going to be quick, easy, healthy, and the topping on it is going to be so delicious. You would think this recipe came from a restaurant. Bonus side, it is gluten-free and vegan-friendly. I'm also going to give you a bonus recipe at the end if you keep watching through this video. So let's get started. We've cut the butternut squash in half, and we can scrape out these seeds, and you can actually cook and roast them. So I'm going to save them because they're highly nutritious. If you like pumpkin seeds, you'll like these. Did you know the butternut squash is from the pumpkin family? This giant butternut squash is also related to a zucchini, calabaza squash, a yellow squash, and so much more. It's also referred to as a winter squash sometimes. There's also spaghetti squash. If you haven't had that, you can cook it, and when you are done cooking it and it's ready, you can scrape it with a fork and it makes spaghetti strings. It's delicious. And if you stick around watching this video, I will give you a bonus recipe in the end. Next, we will foil line this baking sheet. Makes for easier cleanup, so nothing will stick too. Then we want to lightly olive oil it. There we go. Face side down. This way it doesn't stick, and it provides some moisture in there, keeping it smooth. Now that we've got them on the pan, we want to pierce them in some areas. Once you've pierced and oiled them, we're going to wrap it again. Cover and bake for 50 minutes. And we shall chop our onion. Once your butternut squash has come out of the oven, you want to uncover it and check to see if it is tender. This is very tender. It is ready to go. Just give them a good flip. Perfect. Look at that steam come off. We are going to let it cool for a minute while we prepare the rest. When your pan is nice and heated up, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. And we will saute our onions. Once you have your onions nice and sweaty, with a little bit of brown hint, we can add our low sodium vegetable broth, about 2 cups. And I've only used half the container, so I know the rest will be a good amount. You want to let that simmer for about 4 minutes. Now after it's cooled, you're going to want to take off the skin. Some people want to blend it for extra nutrients. That's fine. It will break up just fine, but you may get some chunks, and I really want my soup to be very smooth and creamy. So I've decided not to add them this time. And then you can break them up in chunks and add them to the blender. Have a bite in here too. Soup is going to be incredible. And we had our onion and vegetable broth, and we're going to now add it into the blender. And you want to keep this pan just as is because we are going to use it for our brown sage butter. We have salt, pepper, some nutmeg, and a little bit of ginger root. Sounds interesting, I know, but go with it. I'm telling you, it's fabulous. So I don't want it too salty yet. I'm gonna add a little at a time since I've just made this recipe up. I like to do that. You know, I shoot from the hip and it always comes out pretty darn good. So I'm gonna start with half a teaspoon of each. And for the nutmeg, I'm going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon. Now let's blend it. Once it's blended, we're going to do that first, and we're going to add 1 cup of coconut milk. This is the vegan-friendly way. Other recipes said to use sour cream and cream cheese, half and half. I looked up a few others online. That's when I decided to make my own because I wanted to be healthy, vegan friendly. We got potassium, B vitamins. This is just so much better than trying to follow the fatty recipes. Here it is. I'm ready to try this. Looks perfect. I'm only putting a little at a time to taste test this. Smells fantastic. Wow. Mmm. Tastes even better. Although I think I'd actually like to add more nutmeg and ginger. I'm glad I did a little at a time though, because you don't want it overpowering. I do have to say, the onion was a bit too much. So I'm going to say 1/4 of an onion instead. And now 1/8 of a tablespoon more of the ginger and the nutmeg. Blend it back up. Okay. Now I can get my butternut. Apparently I say butternut. Soup in my bowl. Beautiful, soft, creamy, smooth. Oh, I'm going to have another taste. I feel so proud of my soup. I'll show you the piece de resistance. And here's the soup. But it's not done yet. We need a beautiful topping. Let's get that topping going. Right now we are browning our butter. If you want it vegan friendly, you can use Earth Balance. If you're not concerned about vegan, well, then you can use unsalted butter, about 2 tablespoons. And I have my fresh sage, which I'm going to rip up and drop in my brown butter. And just let it fry for a minute. It's so beautiful. I feel like I'm doing it injustice, but it's going to do justice to my stomach. Once we have our brown sage butter ready, you just take a little bit and drizzle it on. And now the finishing touches. If you are not vegan, go ahead and enjoy some nice shivers of Parmesan cheese. And last but not least, top it with some beautiful, fresh walnuts. Perfect. Voila. And there we have it. Our roasted butternut squash soup with brown sage butter and some extra toppings to go with it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And the greatest compliment you can give to me is to share this and follow me and subscribe to me. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll give you that bonus recipe here in a minute. I'll give you the link, and that is for roasted butternut squash seeds. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a delicious and nutritious day. All right, here's a simple recipe for the seeds of the butternut squash. Just gonna make sure they're nice and dry. And add a tablespoon of olive oil. Mix that around. And you can add any seasoning or flavor you want. You can do chili lime. This stuff is great on mangoes. You can do just regular sea salt and pepper if you want. I think I'll do regular sea salt and pepper. Actually, I want half and half. So just sprinkle it on in. So you have enough, but not too much. Sprinkle in your pepper. And spread on a foil-lined baking sheet. Make sure your oven was previously preheated to 400 degrees. It's not a whole lot, but still, we are making the most of our butternut squash. We use that thing to make a soup, and now we are gonna have roasty, toasty seeds. Okay, maybe I do want to try this. I want to try it on half. And the other half will be just sea salt and black pepper. Yum! You then want to make sure you cover half of it and fold it in, because it pops everywhere in the oven. It goes pop, pop, pop like popcorn. When it's done and cooled and you've taken it out of the oven, you want to open it up and see all your little cooked seeds. They're cooled and ready to eat. Yum. It's even better than a pumpkin seed.